AM 560. The Answer.
So, showed a lot of real estate over the last 2 days after I was doing our Markham discussion to show what the future is in Democrat areas and totalitarian areas. And we play Mendomny, and you have this imbecile Brandon Johnson and Pritzker. You do realize what the difference is. Force versus freedom of choice. That's the difference. Force. It's all the Democrats know how to do because their philosophy that they're living with is a philosophy of force. They might pretend it's socialism, or they might pretend it's Marxism or communism, or even more nefarious, utopia. They might even pretend it works, like that moron in New York or the moron in Chicago. But it does not exist without force. They just have to put lipstick on the pig. They have to tell you it's going to be great. We're going to just raise the taxes by 2%. That's okay. We're going to stabilize the rental market. How are you going to do that? We're not going to let you rent your place. Well, that doesn't seem right. That's okay. We're going to do it anyway. Force and force and force. And this is the divide in our nation. That's why when you talk about the governor in Illinois, forget about it. It's gerrymandered. They could elect a pickle jar. The real argument should be, by anybody opposing J.B. Pritzker, why must I be forced into capitulating into financing Chicago? If I were giving my friend Dabrowski, who I love, Ted advice about what to do when it comes to running for governor, I would run on the principle of, if you are a county that voted for secession and I can't change your mind in a year, you can secede. Because that's what this country is based on. You don't get to force my opinion on anything, whether it's your transvestites, whether it's your vaccine. But more importantly, this ridiculous notion that in some areas I can't rent my property if I want to, or that I'm lucky if I keep 48% of the money I earn because some 33-year-old good-for-nothing never did nothing says that's the magic sauce?
So a lot of individuals in this city pay more than 50% of their income in taxes. When you talk about a fair share, how much more than that? What is the fair share? What's the number?
I've said that we should increase personal income taxes by 2%.
Is fair?
And my point is this.
Give up more than half of your income.
Now, if this was the argument made by Democrats, why don't they pay their taxes? And you might think, I'm just talking about the billionaire scumbag and his entire family of tax cheats called the Pritzker. No. I'm talking about every one of them. Why don't you pay your fracking taxes, bust-outs?
While most Americans had to write a big fat check to the government today to pay their taxes, over 100,000 federal workers are not paying their taxes. In 2021, the IRS found that almost 150,000 federal workers owe about $1.5 billion in unpaid taxes.
Fire every one of those bust-outs. Every one of them. And the idea, what's a judge going to block? Ooh, the judge blocks it. I wonder, did a judge ever rescue any one of you when you lost your job? Did a judge ever come in and say, no, you got to continue to pay him? And that's the difference. The Soviet worker in America, calling himself the government worker, they've got the courts. Just like the mafia in Chicago has the courts.
President Donald Trump's administration, for now, must stop firing workers during the government shutdown. A federal judge issued the emergency order on Wednesday. It comes after federal agencies started issuing layoff notices on Friday, aimed at reducing the size of the federal government.
So you can't fire the workers, even the ones that don't pay their taxes. You can't fire the Federal Reserve board members, the ones who fraud their loan documents and pretend to be mystics over the universal interest rate of America. You can't fire Letitia James, who has been frauding documents for 42 years. Who can you fire?
Every single mortgage document that Letitia James signed over the last 42 years had falsified information on it. This was not a one-off, according to forensic accountant Sam Anter. Anter, a retired forensic accountant known for his meticulous unraveling of financial puzzles, claimed that this is no isolated slip-up, but part of a larger history of alleged misconduct. Anter, who said he stumbled upon these inconsistencies while reviewing public filings, said he doesn't care about the politics surrounding James or Trump. He's just looking at the facts of the case. James purchased a Virginia property in 2008, but failed to report its mortgage in her 2021 and 2022 financial disclosures to New York State. Suddenly, in 2023, 2 mortgages appeared, totaling more than twice the property's value.
So now if Letitia, at the AG position, If Letitia is a county in her little town where she absconded and lied to buy the property and borrowed twice its value on mortgages somehow, if they were like Markham and said you can't rent it, even to your fugitive niece, can't rent it, what would Letitia do? Would she just take it, or would the banks lose double the money? After all, they should have never got the money. And that's the tale of two worlds. That's why I play you these stories, to remind you of when you are in a Democrat area, you are a slave to the corruption. But here's the good news. Apparently, you're going to get free buses. Now, the buses, you may get robbed, raped, and beaten about the head, neck, chest, and breast area. But the buses are going to be free.
Let's take a look at the free buses issue just for a moment, because I know you said that the pilot project that you did was one of the biggest accomplishments of being an assemblyman. The Washington Post said this in an editorial about this. Quality inevitably declines when a service is offered for free. Vagrants and drug addicts would camp out all day on New York's buses, especially in the winter. Parents would go afraid to let their children ride alone. Wealthier residents would find another way to get around, but poor New Yorkers who depend on the bus would suffer the most. What do you say to that? Do you agree with that?
Well, I would say that they should actually look at the report of the 5 free buses we delivered across New York City.
It's great. All these areas, what's the main problem with every single one of them? Rampant, insane crime. Rampant, insane crime. And what do they do to protect the honest citizens from the criminals in these Democrat areas? They make it harder for the police to arrest them. They make it harder for the prosecutors to prosecute and the people to keep them in prison. That's why in Illinois now, ICE has got to have to wear cameras.
A ruling just handed down within the hour saying ICE officers must wear body cameras while in and around the Chicago area. It stems from large protests all around the Windy City, thousands taking to the streets. And it comes as ICE's budget for 2025 is now bigger than the militaries of Iran, Venezuela, and North Korea combined. Thousands of officers being deployed to carry out President Trump's mass deportation agenda, with thousands more new officers joining the ranks every month.
I listened to that whole report. I listened to the report after. Not one of them gave the financial information that J.B. Pritzker, Brandon Johnson, the Illinois Democrats have spent more on illegal aliens than all of the services provided to Illinoisans, Chicagoans, people in a variety of different counties combined. They gave more to the virtuous illegal alien. And then when ICE arrests 2 illegal aliens who came to this country and put 4 of their kids through school, never ever had insurance, all of the health care provided for, rental assistance and food assistance, when ICE finally arrests the people who were here for more than 20 years without ever taking advantage of the 8 pathways to citizenship, this is how the story is told. It's fun, Squirrel. It's like a mini documentary, like an after-school drama.
It's okay. It's okay. We're okay.
This video quickly spread across social media. A teenage girl on the side of the road shielding her younger siblings as ICE agents arrest their parents and older brother after a traffic stop in September.
Your brother, is he a citizen?
We don't answer questions.
That's all I could say. Like, no other words came out of my mouth. I was not prepared for that.
19-year-old Juditzi Enciso and her 22-year-old brother Moises Jr. speaking publicly for the first time about that viral moment that they say turned their lives upside down.
Now, they're not giving you any of the costs of this. Just the 4 kids alone. Let's say it's Chicago. Let's say it's 5 years ago. 4 kids, 5 years ago was $20,000. Now it's $32,000. $20,000 a year for each one of the kids. So there you go. You got $80,000 in just the education. That's without the health care, without the food, without the rent, without everything.
Down.
My heart was just, it kept pounding. My legs, my hands kept shaking.
She says she was only able to hold it together for her 12-year-old sister and her little brother, who was turning 10 that day.
By the way, all of this could have been circumvented. Every single one of these issues could have been circumvented. 22 years. Why didn't you go to the immigration office and tell them who you were? And they're not going to tell you what the father did. Nobody knows. Oh, he was a good guy. He picked lettuce. Where? In Cicero?
I didn't want them to see me crying because that was going to affect them more.
Yeah.
So I just had to make sure they were calm. It's okay. We're going to be okay.
Moises Jr. says that morning he went with his parents to pick up supplies at Home Depot before the family's birthday celebration, when they were pulled over for allegedly making an illegal U-turn. He recalls 3 ICE vehicles blocking them in. And
That got me thinking. An illegal U-turn, you've been there 22 years, you made an illegal U-turn. In those 22 years, have you been in any accidents? Have you caused any damage for insurance companies to pay? What exactly was his arrest record? You'll never know in a sanctuary city.
Agents surrounding their car, demanding to see their IDs.
And they just kept asking us these questions, and my dad kept looking back at me and saying, like, should I answer? What should I do? And I was kind of like also panicking.
Giudizi and Moises Jr. both are awaiting approval for deferred action for childhood arrival status, or DACA. Their siblings are U.S. citizens. According to DA...
So 2 are trying to get DACA, 2 are citizens. And every one of them, $20,000 a year for school. All the school. Boy, it's expensive family, isn't it? And then you start to realize the entitlement issue. With all of these people who are entitled to something, but really don't bring much to the table. Here's another DACA story.
Are you here illegally?
I am not here illegally. I am under DACA.
What has prevented you from getting your legal status in that 20
I'm
years?
currently working within my legal status. My legal status, I have updated my application and I'm waiting for my legal status to change.
Have you committed any crimes?
I have some cases pending. You also told me to go back to Honduras. Did you not?
I said if the judge decides.
No. Right before you left the car.
You're going to go back.
Be a man.
Why, are you not supposed to go back to Honduras? You've been here. You haven't gotten your paperwork, and you got a couple of cases of crimes? Get your ass back to the third world. 312-642-5600. Get the f*** out of here!
He's Sean Thompson.
Hello, Mr. Thompson.
And this is the Sean Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.